Hi, my name's Alicia, but most people call me Leesh. As a celebration of myself turning 27 years old recently, we're going down the train tracks of nostalgia today to give you my list of the top 10 video games that defined my childhood. These are either gaming experiences that shaped who I am today, or those that I just look back on fondly for how much enjoyment they gave me all those years ago. I hope you enjoy. Kung Fu Chaos, I feel, is a not very well known game. It was on the original Xbox and was best played with others. I have very happy memories of visiting my cousin's house, and we'd play through the story mode and the minigame mode and just have the time of our lives. A basic summary is, you're an actor on the set of a movie. In this movie, you're performing the art of Kung Fu across various scenes, some that mimic the likes of Jurassic Park or the Titanic. If you were to compare this to another game, it's best to describe it like a Kung Fu version of Super Smash Bros. Just less iconic characters and a game that not many people have heard of. Honestly, the fun of it was just messing around with your friends. That was it. Pushing people off the stage, finding items to throw at people, whacking people in the face. It was just a little silly game that you'd play for, an hour or two, and then revisit it in a couple months' time. Is it the best game of all time? Absolutely not, but it's one that brought me and my cousin together when we were really young, and for that, I'm very grateful. For anyone who likes modern day multiplayer shooter games, I think you owe a big thank you to GoldenEye 007 on the N64. This game basically created what multiplayer fun games are supposed to be, especially ones that involve guns. Don't get me wrong, the story mode in this game is awesome. You feel genuinely like you're James Bond, you're on a secret spy mission, the music's brilliant, but the key to this game, and the best part, is the split screen multiplayer. 4 friends, 4 N64 controllers, and 1 TV, countless hours of fun. Countless hours of fun and laughter with your friends, at sleepovers, at parties, whatever it was, this was the one to have. For me, I'm just grateful that I was alive in a time period where this was a thing. You didn't have online multiplayer, you had to be in the room with people and having the time of your lives. So for that, GoldenEye, I salute you. Wario has always been this oddball side character in the Mario franchise, and I know he has his own games, but none really caught my attention until I played Smooth Moves on the Nintendo Wii. A game that you can play in short bursts or long bursts just depending on how you feel, was just perfect for this era of gaming. Getting non-gamers involved and having fun and being silly, to me, is a perfect summary of the Nintendo Wii, and this game perfectly encapsulates that. This game makes you look an idiot, it makes you look silly, but that's part of the fun. Let's be silly together. They called the Wii remote the form baton, and you just have to hold it in various weird positions while doing these mini games. This game, honestly, is just the perfect example of sometimes simple can go a long way. You don't have to do flashy gimmicks, over the top sequences to make a game that's fun and that sticks in people's memory. And so, for me, this is one of the most perfect games that I've ever played when you want to be with friends, short bursts of entertainment, absolutely brilliant. As a kid, I had many pets. Rabbits, guinea pigs, hamsters. But I did always want a dog. Now, my parents, at the time I thought they were being mean, but looking back they were very responsible. They understood the commitment of a dog and the care and needs that would need to be met, and they were like, right now, you're too young to fulfill that. So, younger me, she had to settle for a virtual pet dog, and that's why this game is on the list. I feel the most obvious dog game to gamers is Nintendogs on the Nintendo DS, but a generation prior is actually where I'm coming from, and that was Dogs on the Game Boy Advance. You go to the pet store, you pick your puppy, you pick what traits you'd like them to have, so if you want them to be more relaxed or a bit more feisty, and you just take them home, train them. It's a more story player based game instead of Nintendogs, which I feel is like a game you can continuously play. There's not really an end to that game, whereas with this game there was. It was a perfect game at a time when I needed it. I wanted a dog so bad, and this was able to fill a little bit of the big void in my heart. Being on the GBA, it was accessible, it was able to go with me everywhere, and yeah, just a game that I look back on and good memories. Very good memories. Minish Cap was my first handheld Zelda experience, and Capcom did a brilliant job with this game. The art style is one I still think stands the test of time, and even though some people don't like the shrink and grow gimmick that this has to offer, it's actually one of the reasons why I love it so much. Having a non-Ganondorf villain present as Vati was brilliant, a pleasant change and great experience. And having Eslo taking the form of Link's hat was comedic genius, and I loved how it played into the game. Of course, this game isn't perfect. I understand why people don't really rate this very highly, but to me, it's one that really stands out. The music, I love the art style. Like I say, I love not having Ganondorf. I think that's really cool. Also, experiencing Hyrule from two perspectives, as a human and then as the Minish, was great. And I love how they integrated certain puzzles where you'd have to, shrink small to get through to an area, and then you go big again. I absolutely love this game. And I look at this and I think, Nintendo, listen, remake this game, put it in the A Link Between Worlds art style, and I promise you, this game will do numbers. Just think about it, just consider it. I think for most gamers, your first Pokemon game is what sticks out to you when nostalgia comes into play. For me, that was Pokemon Blue. I so vividly remember how much fun I had with this sense of freedom and adventure, and collecting cute little animals, and they were on my team and they were my friends. Like, come on. Iconic. I also had the heads up because my cousin, who's a couple of years older than me, was a big Pokemon nerd. Like, I'm talking trading card game, could name them off by heart, watch the anime, whatever. Anything that was Pokemon, he was invested in. So I had a great teacher in him that helped me become a Pokemon nerd too. So once again, being able to bond with people, your friends, your family, and experience and share this game together, I think is just something that is so rare nowadays in gaming, to capture that sense of excitement and sharing experiences with people and them sharing similar or different ones with you. That's what, to me, makes gaming really cool, and that's why I always have held Pokemon Blue to a high standard. Are there better games in the series and the franchise? Absolutely, but like I say, nostalgia purposes, this one just has a place in my heart. The same as little Squirtle, my first ever starter Pokemon. He's always going to be one of my favourites. Always going to be one of my favourites, man. Now, to some people, this one's going to seem really random, but those who get it will 100% understand. New Super Mario Bros. DS brought the fun and exploration of Mario Bros. Games to the handheld market in a way that allowed it to be enjoyed by all ages. During this DS era, Nintendo loved experimenting with the concept of local play. One person has the game, and then 3 other devices can connect to that game and play together. This experimentation made some of the best moments of gaming with my friends I have ever had in my life. Like, yeah, the main game was fun, do not get me wrong. Hours and hours of playability within the main story, but the local play for the minigames was sensational. I'm talking sleepovers, school trips, even on the walk to school, me and my friends would be playing this. It was genuinely unmatched. Personal favourites from my friend group at least was the minigames Wanted, Hide and Boutique, Paragon, and Mario Slides. Overall, just a great game that, yeah, you can enjoy on your own, but if you can get friends nearby to play with you, wow, what a time to be alive. No handheld video game has had such an influence on me as Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town has. From something on paper that sounds so simple and almost boring, it provided me with countless hours of fun and enjoyment. Despite it being such a calm, take-at-your-own-pace attitude, I absolutely loved this freedom and sense of do what you want. Having a farm to look after with your animals, your crops, and also trying to create these flourishing relationships with people in the town was just something I had personally not experienced in video games before, and I adored with this game. The fact this game was also on the Game Boy Advance just made it so much more accessible to me. You know, a car journey, an international flight, even my walk to school. I could just take this with me anywhere, and it was a pick up and go game. Experience a day on the farm, get a new, chicken for the coop, whatever. It just had so much that you could do, but you could also do as little as you wanted to as well. Sometimes with gaming, I think we forget it doesn't always have to be about flashy CGI, cutscenes, graphics, whatever, frames per second. It's about how it makes you feel, how the experience provides you with entertainment, I guess. This was a heartfelt story that, you can build bonds with people if you want, you can be an introvert if you want, you don't have to get any animals if you don't want to. It was one of the first games where I felt I had full control and full choice, and that was really, really refreshing. Now, I'm aware they did a remake of this game a couple of years back, and don't get me wrong, it looked cute, but nothing to me can come close to the original. It just can't. The graphics of the original, I think, have such charm to them, and they're so cutesy, and the music is so gets stuck in your head and addictive that, yeah, the vibes are just off the charts with this, and what a game. What a game of my childhood. Thank you so much, Natsume. Continuing onwards to our second place game, we have another gem that does allow the player the ability to pace themselves and just take in what the game has to offer. Wild World was my first introduction to the Animal Crossing series, and what a game to experience first. Nothing would beat the excitement of waiting for a store to upgrade or a new villager about to move in. Participating in the events on certain days, and sometimes just staying up past my bedtime to try and catch a rare shark for the museum. As an adult, I look back now and I understand that the villagers are probably saying the same dialogue, they react the same way, but as a kid I genuinely thought my actions in the game influenced how they spoke to me, how they interacted with me, and for a kid that was really, really cool. The little details of them buying me a present on my birthday, or when the flea market events would happen and we'd go around to houses and buy items that we like. It's just the small little things that add up to creating such a lasting impact on such a young person. I'm aware that newer games in the series, most notably New Leaf on the 3DS, are better in terms of what gameplay you have, opportunities, customization, blah blah blah. Nothing can quite capture how this game made me feel and how it opened up a new door to gaming for me as I grew up. That Christmas day when I got Animal Crossing Wild World and Nintendogs might be one of the best Christmases of my life. I can't even lie to you. And finally, the game that defined my childhood the most out of all of them on this list is the one, the only, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. This game was such a milestone for me. It was literally the first game I ever played when I was 3 years old. It impacted me so much growing up, as I genuinely grew up with this game. As I got older, I understood how to beat puzzles and escape the forest. As my ability to understand and figure out scenarios grew stronger, so did Link within this game. I think due to this journey I went on in real life alongside the game, this is why I am so invested and so in love with this game. Since my eventual completion of this game, I can't even begin to guess or estimate how many times I've beaten this game. From it being on the virtual eShop on the Nintendo Wii, to then being remade on the 3DS, I've played pretty much every version of Ocarina of Time that I could get my hands on, and I don't regret a single second of it. I'm aware this game has its flaws, it's not perfect, but I can put it to one side. This game means so much to me. It introduced me to the world of gaming, so it has to be number one. I don't know where I would be without playing this game. Would I even be a gamer? Who knows? But yeah, this game just creates an atmosphere that is unparalleled, and the music, you hear a certain song and it brings you back to a certain part in your life. I think that's just very powerful and very impactful, and it's a testament to the creators of this game and the storytelling that they told. I'm aware it's a simple story, but for it to impact someone from such a young age, to still now look back and be filled with such good memories is a real testament to what this game can still do all these years later. The gimmick of time in this game, to me, is beautiful, and I love how it shows us how much a world can change in such a short space of time. 7 years is a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, in terms of your life, 7 years isn't that long. But seeing in the game how much things changed within that time period, and then comparing that to my actual real life, there's so much has happened in the past 7 years of my life, and then the 7 years prior, so on and so forth. It makes this game, to me, even better, because you can make comparisons to real life scenarios, But yeah, I just like that this game brought me a sense of a feel-good atmosphere. I was saving the day, I was saving the princess, I was saving the world. That was a powerful message to me as a kid. You don't have to be a big, strong adult to do great things. You can be a little kid with a good brain on your shoulders, and you can make things work. It might not be the greatest game of all time to many, but to me, it holds a place in my heart that it had to be number one, and I'm not even sorry about it. Alright, and that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do let me know your favourite game from your childhood in the comments below, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to see the future videos I'll be putting out. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.